Hi everyone, my name is Sergey and I welcome you to this quick and quite straightforward tutorial on how to build a simple web crawler using Jsoup Java library. Obviously, there are many other options you can choose. Personally, I tried three of them. The first was the library called HTML unit, and I didn't like it because this library requires the websites you're trying to scrape to be almost perfectly written in terms of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And although this library will fix some syntactical issues for you, there are, I think, almost 90% of probability that your program will crash with an error that causes this library because of some result keyword that was used in the JavaScript or uh, HTML code. Uh, the keyword that you can't use in your Java code, and so on. So generally, I don't recommend you to use this library. The second one I tried was the Apache Notch, but personally, I think that this is maybe not too old or deprecated framework, but it's harder to bootstrap and configure the necessary features to build the very simple crawler out of the box. So today we'll use Jsoup. Um, First, I suggest you to open up the browser. Yeah, I forgot to say that you can build a plain Java project. You can build a Java web project using Maven or Gradle. Personally, I will use Gradle. So if you go to your browser and write just Jsoup, you can see that Jsoup is an open source Java library designed to parse, extract, and manipulate data stored in HTML documents. Okay, in the case when we are building the plain Java project, you want to download the Jsoup uh, jar file. So we write just Jsoup download jar. Go to the official website and see this first item, this bulleted list called Jsoup 1.15 jar core library. And this is the latest version of this library. You just click it and download. Then you can connect this jar file in your project and start building your web crawler. It's not the case for today because I want to use Gradle. So I go to the Maven Central repository, write Jsoup, click on the first link in this list, go to the latest stable version 1.15.4, click Gradle, and copy this piece of text, piece of code. Now we can open up our IDE. You can use IntelliJ, Eclipse, NetBeans, or whatever you want. We want to create a new project. Let's just call it Jsoup or just web crawler. As I said before, I will use Gradle. You can use Maven or IntelliJ if you are using IntelliJ IDEA as your IDE, and click Create. Okay, model JDK isn't defined, but the project is being built. So maybe this message will go away. While the project is building, I want to open up the build Gradle file. If you're using Maven, then you would open up the pom.xml file. Yeah, this message is gone. Build Gradle and paste the code we copied on the page of the Maven Central repository. So now we connected the Jsoup library to our project. Let's refresh it. And we are ready to start writing the code itself. So let's go to the main Java, to our default package or that example. I suggest you to create a new separate class. Let's call it crawler. And in here we'll have three methods. The first one will be just public static void main, and the other two methods will be used to perform crawling itself. The first one is the private static void crawl. Let me spell the static. And here we pass three parameters. The first one is level, the second one is URL, and the third one is a array list of the type string called visited URLs. What does it all mean? Tapped URLs. The level means the depth of our web crawling. Imagine a website. Each website consists of a number of directories and files inside of these directories. Let's say we have some website and it consists of three directories. Let's call it directory 1, directory 2, and directory 3. And the second directory is stored inside of the first directory. And the third directory is stored inside of the second directory. So basically, we have three levels of our website, if I can say so. So we have three levels we can crawl, and basically that's it. I hope that you understand what I tried to explain. The second parameter is self-explanatory. It's URL of the website we want to crawl. And the third parameter is an array list of the type string that will store the list of all the visited URLs by our crawler. Okay, the third method is private static document. Document is a class provided by the Jsoup library, and this document represents the HTML document that we fetched from the specified URL. So in this method, we pass two parameters. It's string URL, and again, array list of the type string, array list of the type string that store all the visited links. Okay. In here, we want to create a try catch block. We'll catch an input out of exception. And in the case we encounter an exception, I want to just use one life hack and just log the message that something bad happens. So we can not even create a separate logger. We can write something like a logger get global log. Here we want to specify the log level. It will be warning, and the second parameter is the message itself, and we want to say that something bad happens. Okay, so inside of the try block, we want to create a connection. Connection is the class provided by the Jsoup library. And we create these objects using the static connect method of the Jsoup connect, and we pass the URL of the website we wanted to crawl. Um, the second object we want to create is the document doc. And as I said before, this object will represent the HTML documents we fetched. Okay. Next, we want to check that um, the response status code was um, is equal to 200. It means that everything is okay. There is no errors or warnings. We can proceed processing this document. Otherwise, we do nothing, but you can output some message, some warning, or something else. If everything is okay, we want to just log two messages to our console. The first message will contain a link or the URL that we visited, and the second message will contain the title of the page we visited. Okay, and then we add this URL to the list of visited URLs and just return this document. In the case when some error happens, we just return nothing now. Now let's go to the crawl method. It will be a bit more complex than the request method was. So first of all, we want to check that the depth level of crawling, the level of crawling, is less than or equal to 5. Because if we set too high level of crawling, then our program can run indefinite amount of time. It will never stop running, and it can take literally decades to crawl some huge resource on some huge list of resources, of web resources. So we want to set the max depth level in our program to 5. You can change it. If the level is correct, then we want to create again a document using this private static method request. We pass the URL and the array list with all the visited URLs. Then, after we fetched this document, we want to check that this document isn't equal to null to not fall into the null pointer exception. And if everything is okay, we want to create for each loop. The element class is provided by the Jsoup library, and it basically represents the HTML element. So in our case, let's say that we want to select all the that is links A elements in the HTML. So we must provide a CSS query to the parameters of this select method. This SQL query looks like this: A and href. Then we are creating a new local string inside of this for each loop. It will be called, for example, href_value, and we want to fetch the value of the href attribute itself. So we say that we want to receive the value of href attribute of the current link, So we say link apps URL and href apps. I misspelled this method name. Okay, and the last thing we want to do is to check that our list of all the visited URLs doesn't already contain this link. So we write that visited URLs doesn't contain, I placed the exclamation sign in here, doesn't contain uh, the href value. And if it doesn't, then we recursively call the scroll methods, but now we increment the level, the value of level, and pass this href value, and of course the list of all the visited URLs. In the case we don't increment the level, then our program will run indefinitely because the number of the level will not change, and we will just run this program indefinite amount of time until some error happens, or maybe something else. Maybe, I don't know. Okay, and the last thing you want to do is to create a local string called URL. Yeah, this example is somehow hard-coded in some moments. For example, we create the local string URL, hard-coded URL, and let's say we wanna crawl the Wikipedia today. So I wanna check the URL of the Wikipedia. Okay, and just call our crawl methods. The level will be 1 URL, and we just create a new array list of the type string, and that's it. Let's run our program and check the output in the console. Okay, as you can see, we are crawling the Wikipedia, and our program stopped running. So we have a bunch of messages in our console. Each message consists of the link and the title. The first link is the root link that we provided, wikipedia.org, and the title of this page, oh, I'm sorry, I made some mistake, because yeah, I made a mistake. In the title, we have to concatenate not a URL, but a document title. Let's run this again. Yeah. So as you can see, the first link is the root link that we provided, and the second link, the second message is the title of the page we visited, Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia. Then we found some search, next some login page, and the link to this login page. For example, we can go to this URL and open up the login page to log in our Wikipedia accounts. I don't know if you have any. And basically that's it. There is not so much sense on this example, in this vacuum situation and example, because we doesn't do anything with this information. But in further tutorial, we can build some more complex system that somehow processes this information, saves it maybe in some CSV file or in some other format, and generally do something useful and interesting. So if you wanna see this tutorial and you have some questions, please write the comments below this video. Also, you can find the source code of this example in my GitHub repository. I will leave the link in the description under this video. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and I hope that I helped somebody, at least somebody, to understand how to build the very simple web crawler. Write your thoughts to the comments. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day. See you soon. Bye bye.